Let's get to some brighter economic news this morning, because we could do with a bit of that, couldn't we? Westpac's latest economic report reckons we are coming out the other side of what has been a pretty tumultuous period for New Zealand and for many economies around the world. In fact, they are saying that GDP for the quarter that we're in right now will be double what they previously thought it was, 0.8%, and our GDP growth forecast for next year is also going up. Now, they have called this the shaking it off report. So in that spirit, here's some of the numbers. Aren't those dogs cute? 16 after 7. Joining us for reaction to this Westpac report and other issues this morning is Nicola Willis, the Finance Minister. Minister, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, it's not all good news. There are still risks out there in the world. There is still a war on that hasn't got a resolution to it yet. But, you know, look, I suppose we should celebrate the wins when we get them.
Yeah, and look, the underlying story here is that New Zealanders and the New Zealand economy have coped much better with the global oil price shock than many had predicted was possible. And what you're seeing is that businesses are acting in ways that show they are confident about the future. You've got investment intentions up, employment intentions up. You're seeing more things being imported at our ports to invest in growth and expansion. You've got hiring intentions for new staff up, which is great news for jobs and income growth. And so all of that's happening against the backdrop of what were really big challenges from the oil price. Of course, inflation's too high. That's still a headwind. We do want to see unemployment coming down. But this is the story which I shared at the budget, which is, yep, it's been tough, but every indicator tells us things are going to get better and better if we stick to the plan this government is delivering.
And I want to talk about that because, yeah, every indication is that things will get better, but people aren't feeling that yet, and there's very specific reasons for why, and I want to talk to you about those. But the recovery is uneven still. I was talking to Cameron Baggery this morning. He said it's no longer sort of rural v urban. It's actually just everywhere except Wellington and Auckland. Wellington, we know why. Auckland, probably a bit of house price in there. What are you going to do about Wellington and Auckland?
Well, I think that analysis is correct, which is other recoveries that the New Zealand economy has had have tended to have two big things in common. One, rapid house price growth, and two, big increases in immigration. That's not the case with this recovery. What we've seen is it's really been driven by exports. We are selling more to the world at better prices. Now, an economist will say, well, that's actually the rebalancing we've been needing to see in the New Zealand economy, to see us actually getting wealthier by selling more things to the world than by simply selling things to each other. And that's good for productivity, it's good for wages in the medium term. But of course, the reality is you're in Auckland, and you took out a big mortgage to buy a home at the peak of that house price boom when money was being pumped into the economy. It doesn't feel good having low equity in your home. And seeing lower prices than you might have been hoping for. So that is absolutely a weight on confidence. How do we get through that? Well, what people need to see is the opportunity for wage increases. Now, where do they come from?
Businesses.
They actually come from businesses
creating jobs.
That's why we've pursued policies. That's right. Well, that's why we're pursuing policies.
Well, you've pursued them. You've pursued them, Minister.
Free trade agreements.
But I accept that you are pursuing them, but you're not delivering them, are you? That's the problem. If you look at wage growth, this is for salary and wage earners, up 0.4% in the year to March. Now, what was inflation?
Well, no question, the
4.1.
oil price shock has meant that prices have been rising faster than wages. The outlook says that trend is going to reverse. You're going to see wages increasing faster.
But this is a problem.
Delivered.
This is a problem for you, Minister. I know you're delivering stuff, but you're not delivering real wage growth. That's the problem, isn't it, for people? And if you keep saying it's going to come and we can blame oil, but when will people actually feel what you're saying?
Well, as I acknowledged right at the beginning, Ryan, there's no question. It's been a really tough time for people. The oil price shock had a significant impact. The global tariff war had a significant impact. All I can do is, in good faith, point you to what bank economists, as Kelly Ecolda said this morning, what Treasury, what the Reserve Bank is saying, which is they say that real wage growth is going to accelerate over the next 3 months and years. And my real concern is that won't happen if we take a completely alternative course to this economy, which is what is being proposed by a number of political parties who are saying, look, this is the time to load up the economy with at least 9 new taxes. I'll tell you what that will do. That'll stop businesses hiring. It'll stop them investing. It'll stop them being able to increase people's wages. So the choice here is, do we stick to the path that's delivering and that all the forecasts are saying is going to mean an improvement, or do we take a wildly different course and try and tax our way to prosperity?
I wondered whether you'd got your eye across Te Pāti Māori's announcement yesterday. Top tax rate 48%. I think company tax rate up over 30 again.
Yeah, just extraordinary. They have 5 new taxes on the table. At this point, we've got a baker's dozen of new taxes once you add up Opportunity, Te Pāti Māori, the Greens and Labour. And look, it just shows a reckless disregard for the number one thing that drives people's living standards, which is you need a good job. And guess where jobs come from? They come from businesses having the confidence to hire people, and they will not have that in an economy where reckless parties like Te Pāti Māori are in coalition with Labour and are saying, let's trash the joint by throwing new tax at everything we possibly can. That is not the way to manage an economy responsibly. And we're very concerned that Labour, with their huge funding gap that they have, with their commitment to increasing taxes,
they're going to fill it somehow.
The economy.
Yeah, all right.
They're going to do it.
Okay.
They're going to do it.
Minister, good to see you this morning. Thanks for being with us on the show as always, Nicola.